I just wrote a little something. When I think about what type of person Dad was, I think of him as a brave man. He was brave because he was a husband and the father of 7 children. He was a special kind of brave. He was brave because he got up every day and did the right thing. It was a choice, and he chose to do the right thing. He did it quietly and humbly with his unassuming demeanor. As children, we were terrified of him. He was tough. If we got fidgety in church, one snap of his fingers would scare us straight. His stare would send shivers down your spine. And don't even think about hanging out with your friends before all your chores were done. As an adult, I see everything differently. I know he had to be tough to keep the 7 kids in line, and I know we didn't make his job easy. I also know that we were everything to him. He never talked about it, but we knew it. As we got older, he was able to soften up, and I think he liked that. In 1955, he built the house in Northport for Mom and the growing family. At the time, he was not only building a home, but he was building a foundation for the family. They already had Michael, and Judy came home from the hospital to the new house. Mom made very many more trips to the house from the maternity ward, but Dad was unfazed. His attitude was, no big deal, just add another potato to the soup. He got up every day, went to work at Grumman, and to his second job at Sears a few nights a week. He didn't complain, he just did it day in and day out until retirement. In 1997, it was time for him to build another house for Mom, but this time it was in Florida. She had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's a year earlier. He designed a house on Clinton Court with her future needs in mind. His care and devotion to Mom was unparalleled. Like I said earlier in the day, he chose the right thing. It was a lesson for us all. When they moved, Lee and I bought the house in Northport. Dad was a wealth of information when he came to the house and the neighborhood. Our conversations were always like, how is Lee? How are the kids? What's going on with the house? Are you putting Red X down the toilet every month? Dad was happiest when he had a project. What I mean is that everything was a project. Everything had a planning stage, a step-by-step process, and sometimes even a completion. Buttering his toast was an engineering feat. Take the butter out ahead of time, slice thin curls of butter, and let them sit on the butter dish to soften. Don't rush him. He improved on every gadget. Don't question the tennis ball hanging from the garage ceiling or something taped to something else with something else hanging for it, because you could be sure it had a purpose. Dad's life was one to be celebrated. In his 97 years, he never lost faith, never lost hope, and was always an example of how to be a good person. Dad called us his fleas, because when asked if he was going to miss us, he would reply, like a dog misses fleas. Well, Dad, these fleas are really going to miss the old dog. And I promise I will put Rid-X down the toilet every month. In the words of the band 21 Pilots, find your grandparents or someone of age, pay some respects for the path that they paved, to life they were dedicated. Now that should be celebrated.